For 10 years, I didn't think I had a drug problem. I was convinced I didn't have a drug problem. I was convinced I had a money problem, and if I could just have enough money to support my addiction, I'd be fine. My roommate was shot by my other roommate, shot in the face in my kitchen. That was, I definitely started a spiral downhill from there. I ended up in the hospital, numerous friends dead. My roommate was shot and murdered. And that was kind of, enough was enough, and I had to make some changes.
I think it's well known, research has shown that a very small number of offenders commit a disproportionate number of crimes. Approximately 15% of the offender population commit over 60% of the crimes that police respond to right across this province, right across this country. So in 2009, the Priority Prolific Offender Program started in the province of Alberta. The intent was to create bail packages that would better inform the court and the prosecution service about the offender so that appropriate conditions could be considered to deal with that particular individual circumstance.
We've learned from past experiences in relation to the PPOP program that we really need a strong focus on prevention and intervention, along with the enforcement aspect that is also so very important with this initiative.
And so what that has sort of spawned is a new evolution of offender management, which is a more integrated approach, integrating community agencies, health agencies, as well as police agencies and corrections agencies to work together with the offenders in the community to assist them to prevent them from recidivating, to prevent them from recommitting those crimes or getting any types of breaches, going back to jail.
When you talk to a young officer about what is offender management, usually they'll say, let's breach them. It's breaches of recogs, it's doing directed patrols, it's doing door knocks. And my argument is that is part of it, but that is suppression, that's not offender management. We're suppressing their crime in the community, which is something we have to do. But to actually truly get offender management, we have to not only do the suppression, but we also have to work with our community agencies to try and address the root cause of someone's criminal behavior. Or we have to, on the flip side, try and get them longer periods of incarceration.
One of the biggest complaints was that just doing a strict bail package for an individual was not helpful, again, if they had nowhere to live, if they had mental health and addiction issues, and there was no one to follow up with them.
It's important that we address any of the gaps, as I mentioned earlier, in services that are provided to the offenders, but it's also important in the context of being able to share information and intelligence between agencies, more specifically between policing agencies. We need to ensure that there's a consistent approach to the application of the program, and that's where the sharing of information becomes so important. And we need to ensure that none of the offenders, none of the prolific offenders are falling through the cracks when it comes to intervention, prevention, and enforcement.
Realistically, people who are at risk create risk. When you look at some of the lifestyle choices or the life situations or the socioeconomic factors of the reasons that these people are in this position to begin with, they are some of the more at-risk people in our population. And realistically, the ones that need the most help. They're creating the most harm to our communities.
But it was just, a cumulative error led to a big problem at the end. I was between that and financial hardship and loss of family and just loss of my supports in general. I just spiraled downhill. Realistically, if we stick by our old standby of enforcement, we're not going to make any progress with our offenders or with reducing recidivism for a lot of people. So educating our partners, educating police, getting everybody to work together in a collaborative manner to be able to help reduce recidivism in these offenders. Yeah, I'm coming up on 9 months clean of everything. I haven't touched anything in 9 months, and that's the longest I've had clean since I was probably 13. I'm almost 34. Yeah, I can look people in the eyes. I don't have to make up a story. I don't have to lie or steal or or anything. I'm employable, I have a job, I have a girlfriend, I have a place to live that's paid for. Not paid for, but our rent's paid, our mortgage is paid, our bills are paid, we have some money in our pockets. I'm not dependent on a substance to control my life and control my actions and my decisions.
I think one of the biggest goals specific to policing is to have these offenders offend less, to commit less crime, and to break that cycle of offending and incarceration.
I think we are on the right track, and we're showing some very early but promising signs of success. As much as 36% decrease in recidivism rates. So if you take those measures, I think pretty remarkable successes, the program has to grow. And it will grow as a consequence of people recognizing that we're having meaningful and long-lasting impacts on people's lives.
One of the best things that's ever happened to me was being part of that program. I mean, these people would drive an hour and a half to my house, to my acreage, and just to come check on me and my girlfriend. And nobody would do that. My mom wouldn't even do that. My sister wouldn't do that. But these RCMP officers and police officers and other members of law enforcement would make the trip just to come bring us diapers and just to come say hi and see how we're doing, see if there's anything we needed. And that's what I needed. The alternatives are you quit or you die, or spend the rest of your life in prison. You're not going to be a successful criminal. Those two words don't go together. Yeah, no, without a doubt, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.